everyone. Thank you for joining us at our Highland Green virtual town hall. We're fortunate to have guests from all over the country today, and we've got a great panel made up of our staff at Highland Green, the marketing, sales, and design staff. And we're also thrilled to have several residents with us today who are going to share some of their experiences at Highland Green. My name is John Leahy. I'm Director of Marketing and Sales here at Highland Green. And as we begin, I'd like to just go around the panel and have everyone quickly introduce themselves. We hear Jacob.
Jacob Stevenson. I'm a sales agent here at Highland Green. Sell all the products and will help through the sales process beginning to end.
Hi, I'm Sandra Halverson, and I'm the design coordinator here and will help people who are building their homes. And I will talk more about that in the program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Cardwell-Panthil, and I am the sales and marketing assistant here at Highland Green.
Hi, I'm Dan White from Hildreth & White, and I'm the builder for the residential units, the cottages.
Hi everyone, I'm JP White. I'm Assistant Project Manager with Hildreth & White, builder, and I do a lot of work with drafting up plans and getting them ready for you guys.
Hi, I'm Ann Gardy. And I'm Dick Thomas. We're fairly new residents coming up from northern New Jersey about 1.5 years ago.
I'm Lisa Durrell. I've lived at Highland Green for 6 years, and I've been very involved in CREA right from the beginning.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. And so the goal today is to give our guests an overview of Highland Green. And there's a lot to learn about and a lot to talk about, but we're going to try to give everyone an idea of what it's like to live at Highland Green and also answer some of those basic questions that everyone has. So quick overview about what we're going to cover today. We're obviously going to talk about the campus, the amenities that we have here. We're blessed to have a beautiful 650-acre campus, so we're going to talk about that. Obviously, the location. Want to share with everyone a little bit about our sponsor and developer, John Wasilewski, who's been a leader in senior housing for 35 years in Maine. The lifestyle is really important here at Highland Green. The residents, it sounds kind of corny, but the people here are really what is the most impressive thing about Highland Green. Their genuine support of one another and neighborliness is very genuine and special. We talk, of course, about the community, the integration with nature, which is an important element about Highland Green. Co-op ownership, what does that mean and how does that work? The lower maintenance living, what's included in your services at Highland Green. We'll go over the financials, have a little time to talk to Dan and JP about the building process. Home options as well. Our design coordinator, Sandra Halverson, is going to go through the process of really designing your home and selecting your finishes. We'll talk a little bit about future plans. Lori's going to is a technical wizard, and she's done a great job with the website, and there's lots of interactive tools there. So she's going to give us a website tour, and we'll talk a little bit about visiting Highland Green. So beautiful 650-acre campus here at Highland Green. Probably the crown jewel of Highland Green, or definitely the crown jewel, is the Cadence River Nature Preserve. That's a 230-acre nature preserve, and Lisa Durrell is going to talk quite a bit about that. Interesting story about how that came to be as well that we'll talk about. There's a river, of course, the Cadence River, that runs through the nature preserve. We've got about 5 miles of hiking trails. And I'm going to leave the rest of the information about the Cadance River Nature Preserve to Lisa. A little bit more about the campus here at Highland Green. Of course, we've got a community center. In normal times, that's really the gathering space for residents. There's meeting space, there's a kitchen, boardroom, audiovisual equipment. It's the area where the clubs and activities meet. We also have downstairs on the lower level, there's a fitness center, access to our heated pool. We have locker rooms. There is a yoga studio. We have tennis courts, pickleball courts, and Scottish style golf course as well, a 9-hole, integrated nicely with nature. The homes are not, as you see from this photo, the homes are not on the golf course, but they're adjacent to the golf course. Another amenity that we have here at Highland Green is the Duck Pub and Restaurant, which is also an area where a lot of the residents gather regularly. So a little bit about the campus. Currently, we have 203 freestanding existing homes at Highland Green. We don't take a cookie cutter approach at all here at Highland Green. Each home is carefully sited, and most of the homes abut open space. A little bit about our sponsor and developer, John Wasilewski. He's been a leader in senior housing for 35 plus years. Highland Green was founded in 2000, so we're approaching our 20th anniversary. We have a sister community at Ocean View at Falmouth. That's a full service retirement community. And Ocean View has a satellite campus called Cumberland Crossing that's located on Tuttle Road in Cumberland, Maine. So our location, we're really nicely situated here in the crossroads of Midcoast, Maine, adjacent to Brunswick. Most people know Brunswick and Bowdoin College. We're close to a lot of the places where people like to visit and take excursions. Booth Bay Harbor, Acadia National Park's about 2 hours. Boston, 2 hours to the south. Portland, Maine is 30 minutes from Highland Green. And we're about 5 miles from the coast. Other important locations are, of course, the grocery store. Hannaford is about 5 minutes down the road, as well as Target and other restaurants. Medical care is very nearby as well. There's a couple hospitals, and then the Midcoast Medical Building is right near the entrance of Highland Green. So want to talk just a little bit about the people who really make Highland Green special. We're lucky to have folks from over 30 states, all over the country. People have come here to Highland Green for a number of reasons. About a third or so of our residents move from within Maine. A lot of folks are kind of following their vacation destination. Most everyone here lives here year-round. Some folks have camps and cottages. Some folks, try to get out of the winter for a couple months. There's a lot of activities and clubs available at Highland Green, but some people aren't joiners. So you're welcome to participate to whatever level you prefer. Let's going to talk quickly about a couple different residents to give you an idea of the different characters and interesting people that live at Highland Green. This is Joe and Caroline, and they moved from Oakland, Maine. And Joe is an architect by training. So of course, he was very involved in the designing of his custom home. Joe is also the chair of North Phase 2 Homeowners Association. Caroline moved from San Francisco and then Peaks Island. And Caroline sings in Off the Rockers, Highland Green rock band. And there's a picture of the Off the Rockers with Caroline. A few other residents I want to talk about briefly, John and Jane. And John was a former CFO of Oakhurst Dairy, among other corporations. He's also the chair of the North Phase 3 Homeowners Association and serves on the Reserve Analysis Committee. John is also a very accomplished birder and has led bird hikes all over the country and world. And so we're lucky to have him here at Highland Green. Jane is very involved with philanthropic work and participates in the Midcoast Hunger Prevention Program. So this is Charlotte and Roger. She goes by Charlie, and they're really fun folks. Their family business was Sabre Yachts, which they launched in about 1970. So it became a very successful and renowned boat building business. They moved to Highland Green from Cundy's Harbor in 2015. And Charlie is also known as Keyboard Charlie, and she plays in Off the Rockers band as well. This is Gail and Cy. They moved from Townsend, Mass. In 2007. Cy is a retired engineer. He also teaches bridge at Highland Green. And Gail is a retired minister, and she serves on the activities committee for the last 3 years or so here at Highland Green. So the last little resident profile we're going to do quickly is Bob and Joanne. Bob's an executive director. He's also a strongman competitor and triathlete. And Joanne's a hospital intern program manager, horse lover, and they're both Portuguese food enthusiasts. And here's kind of a cool picture of Bob competing in a strongman competition in Waterville, Maine. So now I think we're going to turn it over to Dick and Ann, and they're going to share a little bit about their experience, living here at Highland Green.
Okay. All right. As I said before, Ann and I moved up here about 1.5 years ago, and we first visited Highland Green about 3 years ago. And as you can tell from some of the pictures John showed earlier, once you turn into Village Drive, you will fall in love with this place. It's unlike any other over 55 community we've ever seen. The homes are lovely. They're on spacious lots, all beautifully landscaped and fit into the main landscape with the woods and rocks and all. It's really quite fabulous. From day one, we felt welcome here. Amidst all the boxes and moving crates and whatever, we had visitors stopping by with loaves of bread or little housewarming gifts. Was fabulous. And so immediately you feel a real sense of community. And since folks are here from all over the country, you don't feel like there's a clique of people that everybody's from Brunswick or whatever. So that's a nice sense. As John also mentioned, there's an endless supply of activities, all resident driven. He mentioned the rock and roll band. There's a travel club, a crafts club, carpentry club, book clubs, dinner groups, and I could go on and on. There's also great opportunities in the area for volunteer work, if that's what you're interested in. A number of folks are active at the Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program, which is a fabulous organization in Brunswick. And also there's the resident management boards and committees. The co-op boards are incredibly professional. The whole operation is very well run from a management and financial standpoint. So you should feel quite comfortable with that if you come here. We wondered a little bit about leaving the New York area with all of its cultural activities, but we haven't really missed anything since we've been up here. As John said, Portland's about 30-35 minutes away by car. It has all the big city amenities, a wonderful art museum, several wonderful art museums, restaurants, an opera company, ballet, symphony, a couple of really world-class theater groups. We've been down there a number of times to enjoy that, but you don't have to go all the way to Portland. You can stick around Brunswick for a lot of that as well. There's a great summer music festival at Brunswick at Bowdoin College with international folks coming in all summer. The Maine State Music Theater puts on Broadway class musicals during the summer. And of course, ongoing are concerts at Bowdoin College and Bates College, which is only about 30 minutes up the road as well. Up in Bath is the Chocolate Church Arts Center, which puts on plays and concerts throughout the year. Last Christmas, they did a fabulous Celtic Christmas concert we went to. And Brunswick has a theater and wonderful restaurants. So you can be quite happy and busy moving up here, even though folks thought we were coming to the middle of nowhere. Lifelong learning opportunities. I'm currently taking a course with the Mid-Coast Senior College, which offers a wide array of classes throughout the year, many of them taught by retired university and college professors, so very high quality. And Bowdoin has fabulous lecture series throughout the year. And of course, the outdoors is what you're into, and most people up here are into the outdoors. There's all sorts of hiking opportunities, of course, right here at the CREA Preserve. In the winter, there's cross-country skiing and snowshoeing right on the campus. You're about 20 minutes from the ocean, and we've been down there many times this summer to enjoy the great beaches in Maine. Not so much the cold water, however. And about an hour from the western mountains and lakes of Maine. Now, obviously, a lot of the things I talked about aren't happening now because of the pandemic, but the residents have become very creative in creating social opportunities all summer long, spring and fall. There were pop-up cocktail parties in backyards, driveways, cul-de-sacs. That's starting to dwindle now with the cold weather, but there's some Zoom coffee hours being started up. And in the Christmas season, the residents have decided that we're going to light up Highland Green. So the lights are bright and glowing all over the campus. It's really quite festive. So I think you can tell from my enthusiasm that we're quite happy to be here, and it's been a great experience. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Ann, for being so supportive of the community. We appreciate your help and glad you're here. So Dick talked a little bit about, what it's been like at Highland Green with the pandemic. And that's probably the number one question I get from our marketing guests is what's it like and during this time that's so difficult. And I'll just share that a number of residents have told me that rather than feeling confined and maybe isolated, by living at Highland Green and having this supportive network of friends and neighbors, they feel very connected and very safe. So we're being very careful here at Highland Green. A number of kind of wonderful things have come, I guess, from this situation with Highland Green residents kind of stepping up. There was the Crafty Ladies put together a mask making project to initially provide frontline healthcare workers with masks, which were in very short supply. After that, they began giving masks in return for donations to Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program. So that's the kind of thing that you see, the spirit of volunteerism and philanthropic efforts that exist here at Highland Green. The Highland Green website is a forum where residents share information. So they keep that up to date in terms of different COVID resources, as well as other activities and things that people should know in the community. So we're going to shift now a little bit and talk about the lower maintenance living aspect of Highland Green and some of the nuts and bolts about what's included in your monthly fee. So obviously lawn care, landscaping, snow removal on the roads, sidewalks, driveways, and walkways, doorsteps. Your trash and recycling is included. All of the exterior maintenance of your home. So not just repairing siding and repainting, but also, roof repair, as well as, windows, walkways, sashes. There's a whole laundry list of things, but essentially everything on the exterior home will be part of a scheduled maintenance program at Highland Green. Smoke, fire, and low temperature sensors, an annual inspection of your fire and sprinkler systems, insurance for property casualty liability is included in your monthly fee. And of course, use of the community buildings and common amenities. A lot of residents have shared with me that you get a nice peace of mind with having these security systems in place. For example, if you happen to be away in the winter and something happens with your boiler, the low temperature alarm will notify you as well as someone from our staff, and will be dispatched to inspect, see what is happening there. So our grounds crew is all in-house. Tim Goss is director of grounds and has a full-time staff of 8 people who are really hardworking men and women, and you'll see them out almost around the clock, working on the community. Talked a little bit about the exterior maintenance of the home. And there's a long list of things that are covered. And these things are outlined in what we have as a frequently asked questions packet that is very helpful. It has the financials broken down. It has sample cost of living. It also has what things are covered by the co-op and what things are the residents' responsibility. And you can see a breakdown here. Activities and clubs, and Dick talked a little bit about the various activities and clubs that exist at Highland Green. New clubs and activities in normal times spring up all the time. And so if there's an interest that you have that doesn't exist already at Highland Green, we can create that for you. Here's a kind of a list of different activities and clubs at Highland Green. Volunteer opportunities, quite a few in this area. Habitat for Humanity is very popular among Highland Green residents. Embrace a Vet is something that we all support and a very worthy cause. Midcoast Hunger Prevention, Maine Maritime, and of course CREA are all great organizations that a lot of residents support here at Highland Green. Other activities, again, during normal times, this is a picture of our community center, a brown bag lunch. We have block parties, the different clubs. Paddle club, book club is very robust and popular. There's a hiking club. We talked about the band. And then CREA is really, warm in everyone's hearts here at Highland Green. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa Durrell, who's a Highland Green resident and a CREA volunteer. And she's going to talk a little bit about CREA as well as the nature preserve.
Okay, I need a share button here from Lori. Oh no, I guess I can do it myself here. Hang on. 1 minute. Got it. Okay. There we go. All right. So my name again is Lisa Durrell. I've been involved with the Cat-Hance River Education Alliance, CREA, since I first arrived at Highland Green 6 years ago. In fact, having the preserve and CREA here was one of the big draws for my partner and me to come, along with the wonderful community here at Highland Green. The CREA is an organization whose mission is a nature-based education. So we have many programs which involve building the sense of connection with nature and a sense of stewardship. The word CREA is often used interchangeably with the Catance River Nature Preserve, but they're really two separate things. John Wasilewski, who is the developer of Highland Green, owns the property here. And 20 years ago, this stretch of land along the Catance was supposed to have been 9 holes of golf. And fortunately, the story is interesting. For another time, he was worked with a local resident, John Rensenbrink, and they came to an understanding that actually having 235 acres of wonderful outdoor space for residents would be the way to go. And so John created the Catance River Nature Preserve. The Brunswick Topsom Land Trust holds the easement, takes care of the trails and so on. And CREA is the actual educational arm of the preserve. So CREA is actually a nonprofit. It's based on, it has its own membership and is not supported by co-op fees or anything like that. So there are really 3 different, it's a partnership of 3 that keeps this whole wonderful opportunity going. The Ecology Center is a Civil War barn brought here by John Wasilewski. It had been on Wasilewski property. It is the heart of CREA. It's where all the programs start. You'll see there are solar panels on the roof. And in fact, the building itself is totally off the grid and is considered a building that teaches because even the insulation is made of denim. It's an interesting place to visit. One of the big aspects of CREA is its program for children. We have children are here in with their school groups doing programs at the preserve regularly in non-pandemic times. High school students come and do research and present their findings in a public forum every January, and that's a wonderful growing experience for all of them. We have 2 gifted teachers who work with the kids, and they also work with our local teachers giving workshops. It's really they who have brought science standards, the national science standards, into the local schools. And that's a real amazing gift. Right now during the pandemic, we're not in the schools in the same way, but the local schools have requested that our teacher build videos to help families that are homeschooling, as well as the school teachers bring their education, bring their learning outside. So our people are making videos for these folks right now. So our work continues. In summer, CREA has a summer camp for kids. Many Highland Green residents have had their grandchildren visit during the week of the age group of their grandchild and attend CREA camp. Another aspect of it, which Highland Green residents have been a part of, is the CIT program, because teenagers have a wonderful 2-week developmental program and grow tremendously from it. And we have teenagers that come live with their grandparents for those weeks and participate in that. Another part of the education of the programming at CREA is connecting adults with nature. During non-pandemic times, we have workshops on the weekends. This one happens to be on ferns, I think. But even with the pandemic, our monthly 4th Tuesday presentations that regularly happen at the public library are being held on Zoom. And so these are the 3 that are coming up next. And I would encourage you all to take a look at the website and find out about these programs, and you can register. So even if right now you're sitting in Kansas or Missouri or Florida or wherever you may be, you can participate and get a sense of CREA programming via Zoom. Really, the CREA and the Preserve are really fabulous places and a resource for Highland Green residents in just so many ways. And all the more so with the pandemic, in being outside and in a space that's safe, away from people, really has been appreciated more than you can possibly imagine. And you really feel far away when you walk on the trails at the preserve. And Actually, Highland Green residents use the CREA and the preserve in all seasons. Many people bring their snowshoes and their cross-country skis and are on the trails in the winter. Some people just use it for hiking. And then there are people like me that simply like to go and sit by the river. Other ways Highland Green people can get involved in on the preserve and with CREA is through volunteering. The picture on the left is the inside of the Ecology Center. It's open Sundays 12 to 2, thanks to volunteers. And it's open for hikers to come through and look at the animal mounts and the library and just be in this wonderful space. So that's a volunteer opportunity. Many Highland Green residents have offered their expertise either through their drawing skill or their interest in lichens or other things to do walks. And the group in the top there is with me actually doing a program on looking at the history of CREA through its nature. The orange vests, no, you don't hunt. There's no hunting in the preserve, but in Maine, you can't be too careful. The down below is a group of volunteers painting, and Ron Strand, who's a resident, and his team of folks do everything from steps needing to be replaced to painting to whatever it is. Ron has got the Ecology Center in great shape. Another thing Highland Green residents do with at the preserve is to share it with their families and friends. This is a story walk with a storybook for young people that's been broken apart by pages. And as you walk through the path, you get different pages and read the pages as you go. It's a wonderful experience for old and young. So if you want more experience about, more information about CREA, the website is creamaine.org. We hope you like what goes on there and will choose to become a member and become connected, as all of us are, with nature. It's a really very special place. And there you have it, a look at CREA.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks. That was a great presentation, and we appreciate everything you do for Highland Green and CREA and the Nature Preserve.
You're welcome.
So just kind of wrapping up about the lifestyle aspect at Highland Green and the activities and clubs. There's a welcoming committee. Some of the different clubs include woodworking, community garden, the crafty ladies, and there's under normal times there's an annual craft fair here at Highland Green. One kind of nice story is that the crafty ladies had recently donated 8 handmade quilts to the Mid-Coast Hospital and the hospice wing. So very nice, gesture on behalf of that group. So I think Dick spoke, very well about the sense of community here that exists at Highland Green. It's a very supportive environment, and you see a lot of friendships emerging. This is Juliet and Dexter Morrison, who moved to Highland Green about a year ago from Booth Bay Harbor. Oh, this is Rich Evans and Jean Foy, and they built a custom home here at Highland Green about 2 years ago. So we've talked about the integration with nature that exists here at Highland Green. Highland Green was designed with the smart growth principles in mind. So you'll see near the entrance of Highland Green will be our most dense area. And as you travel north through the community, it will be less level of density until you get to the nature preserve with 0 density. This is a picture of a CREA camp that Lisa had referenced. Winter in Maine, as most people know, can be challenging. So I think embracing the winter and enjoying the outdoors and everything you have here at Highland Green right out your back door is important. And this is an example of a resident snowshoeing. The Ecology Center. What you see in the middle of the screen there is our 35-acre heath, which is also known as the bird sanctuary. And there's a nice hiking trail that loops around that heath, and that is part of the nature preserve as well, the easement held by the Brunswick Topsom Land Trust. This is folks cross-country or snowshoeing on the third hole of the Highland Green Golf Course. And an example of the home's abutting open space. So we talk a little bit about cooperative ownership, and it's different than what's known as fee simple real estate that many folks are familiar with, where you own your land and you receive a deed. So at Highland Green, owners here are shareholders in the housing corporation, and they're represented by a co-op board of directors. So here your ownership vehicle is a share of stock in your phase's homeowners corporation. For example, phase one, there's a phase one homeowners association corporation. If you live in phase one, you own a share of stock in that phase one homeowners corporation. That gives you, that's your legal instrument that gives you the right, of course, to occupy the home and sell the home for what the market will bear when you choose to sell. So there are 5 different phases, co-op phases or HOAs at Highland Green. There's also a number of different boards and committees, which include the Finance Committee, the Reserve Investment Committee, and there's a Reserve Analysis Committee. I can tell you that the reserves here at Highland Green are very well funded, and we've never had a special assessment at Highland Green. So when those major improvements are necessary at your home, you don't need to worry about financing that. That's all included in your ownership here at Highland Green. So just to kind of summarize again, the co-op ownership, it's planned scheduled home maintenance and repair and they're paid for by the accumulated reserve funds. In essence, the residents pool their resources and to provide routine maintenance, such as lawn care and landscaping, as well as capital improvements, including things like shingle replacement and painting. So the Highland Green Resident Handbook is a nice guide to living at Highland Green. And that's something that all owners, of course, receive when they move here. Management Matters is a bi-monthly publication that is a collaboration between Highland Green residents and the management. And that's a way to keep folks informed about fun things and also other things you should know about the community. So talk briefly here about the financials. And here's a breakdown. If you look at the bottom line, the 5 different phases there, and the monthly fees range between $9.93 and $10.48. And it's a little different for each phase based on a number of factors. Taxes are not included in this monthly fee at Highland Green. Taxes are individually assessed by the town of Topsom and paid through Highland Green. Again, in this frequently asked questions document that I refer to, you've got a number of sample cost of living scenarios. And this is real world numbers here. For about a 2,000 square foot home at Highland Green, your taxes are about $8,000. In this phase, the co-op fees are $9.93, and there are your utility numbers. So your monthly budget in this particular home is around $2,000, and that's including your taxes. So reselling your home. What happens when it's time to resell your home? So you work with Highland Green sales and marketing department. We will help you establish a home price. We've got a very robust marketing campaign. We will work with you and the buyer all the way through closing. There is an 8% transfer fee that is due at closing. And one important aspect to the co-op ownership is, unlike some entrance fee communities, here at Highland Green, you receive whatever appreciation that the market will bear when it's time to sell your home. So just a few bookkeeping things here. Pet policy, get a lot of questions. Are dogs allowed? Obviously, they are. We just ask that people be responsible pet owners, and they are. Dogs are not permitted on the nature preserve or golf course. A few other things about Highland Green, kind of commonly asked questions. All the utilities at Highland Green are underground. And I've been told we've only lost power here at Highland Green one time in 20 years. There are solar options available, and you've got public water and public sewer. Trash and recycling is handled through Highland Green. A lot of people ask, can I have my own garden? So the answer is yes. And each residence at Highland Green comes with a base landscaping package that includes the front foundation beds and the side. And those are maintained for you by Highland Green. If you choose to do some additional plantings, an additional raised bed, for example, in the back, that would be your responsibility to maintain. Alterations and additions are permitted at Highland Green. You see a lot of folks creating screened-in porches, sometimes adding sunrooms, decks, outdoor space. So there is a pretty simple process that does require approval, but it's an easy process, and we just ask that it not impede on your neighbors' views of the property. Okay, at this point, we're going to talk a little bit more about the various home options at Highland Green. And so I'm going to hand it over to Jacob Stevenson, and Jacob's going to run you through those first three options.
All right, thanks, John. So before we get into the housing options, I'll touch on something that I think John and Dick and Ann and Lisa all pointed out, and that is that the first step in our sales process is really sitting down and making sure the community and the lifestyle that we offer here is fitting to you. That's really our biggest selling point. The homes are beautiful, they're well constructed, and they're customizable to what you want, but we want to make sure that where you choose to live is truly where you can enjoy your future and your free time, however you choose to spend it. So we'll start with custom homes, as that's one of our major projects here. It's the master plan, and here's the phase 3 that we're currently building in. All our homes start with what we call the HGDNA. With over 200 homes built, we have a variety of floor plans, different styles to choose from. And generally, we like to take clients walk through a couple different homes that we think they might like, where they can pull ideas from, floor plans, finishes, all those things, and then bring it all together. And if people don't see anything they like, we can sit down and start from scratch with Dan and Sandra, who you'll meet later. The first step, really beyond deciding this is the community you want to live in, is choosing a lot to build on. So right now in phase 3, we have 1 lot available in the main section and 3 lots available in the rabbit ears, which is nestled within the nature preserve. And then coming soon, we have phase 4, which you'll see here. The first 5 home sites there are available for pre-sale. They will be abutting a quarry that is waterbound and is quite beautiful with natural stone, lots of trees built around the edge. And as with the rest of the community, I'm sure it's going to be beautifully landscaped and built in once that's all built out. The first 5 homes are 3 basement sites and 2 crawl space sites, which are going to have wonderful elevation. The backside looking towards the 5th hole of the golf course and the front looking towards that quarry. We're expecting to move in 2022 and in that vicinity. but they are available for pre-sale for people who are a little bit further out or thinking down the road. So great option as we finish out phase 3. As we move on, we'll see the HGDNA that we talk about a little bit really comes through in the style of the home exterior wise. The interiors are truly customizable. Whether you have a more traditional, you want wainscoting and crown molding feel, you want a dedicated formal dining room, or do you want a more modern aesthetic with open concept, sleek finishes, very minimalistic. We'll do whatever's fitted to you. Here we see a beautiful Thermador kitchen put in one of our homes. All touchless appliances. It's truly an amazing kitchen. And just one of the many different options that we have here. All the homes are open, bright, with 9-foot ceilings. Truly makes even smaller rooms feel quite large. Beautiful sunrooms throughout the community. This one finished with a tile exterior that goes out to a nice stone patio. Really, as long as it fits within the footprint of the home and exterior styling, we'll make it work and find a way to bring your vision to reality. Next, we have the CREA cottages. So this is a newer project that we are in the pre-sale phase. There are 2 models, the A model and the B model. Both those have some variations where you can add a loft or unfinished or finished walkout basement. And we have discussed the possibility of creating an A+ and a B+ model. We have gotten some feedback that people would like a little bit more space on the first floor. So what we're looking at doing is expanding the sunroom to create a little bit more finished interior space for people to utilize. Just the base single floor model. It does have 2 spacious bedrooms, 2 baths, a beautiful sunroom with windows on all sides. All appliances are stainless. They're the cafe line, but they can be upgraded if that's something important to you. 1 or 2 garage bays. And as I said, there's different options. And then you can also choose if you'd like something like solar panels or a generator. If we move forward here, we'll see where that'll be sited. It's nestled between 2 small brooks between the 8th and 9th hole on the golf course. This siting is special to that little area because those 2 waterways really create a buffer where no future development will ever happen, along with the fact that behind a small wooded buffer, you get to hear a babbling brook. You can walk through that area. It's one of my favorite loops to do within the community, just to go on a walk down in this area. So what you see is what you'll get. Where the homes are built, you will have tree, water, and then golf course buffer on either side. So going to be a beautiful little community built in. And we are in the pre-sale phase right now, so lots are available and we can work you through the process. I think next we'll see some pictures of interior. Oh, having some technical issues. This is a Model A with the fireplace moved to the outside wall for a more open concept from the kitchen to living space. This just creates a more open and airy feel. Here you see your sliders out to your patio while looking into your kitchen. And you'll also have pocket doors that allow access into the sunroom. And if you want to close that off, you still get the natural light through those 15 light windows. As we keep going, this is a master bedroom. This is a B model kitchen, so more of a galley style kitchen with an adjusted entry. One of the big differences in this model is you're going to have a front facing guest room and a rear facing master, where in the A model, both the bedrooms are towards the back of the home. Here you see your nice living space with the fireplace and your breakfast nook at the end of your galley kitchen with a nice array of windows. And this is the master in the B model. And the sunroom in the B model. Just as a general outline, and if you have any further questions about any of the projects, feel free to reach out, or myself or John will answer any of those. But generally speaking, it's a $50,000 fully refundable deposit for both phase 3, phase 4, and the CREA cottages. Once you put that deposit down, that holds your lot while you sit down and you work with Dan White and Sandra Halverson and JP, who are going to help with building the floor plan that works for you, building the timeline, discussing what's important, how we can utilize the space. Once you've settled on a floor plan and you're happy with where you're going and your allowances, then we move to the purchase and sale agreement, which is about 30 days after you reserve the site generally. At that point, it's 10% of the purchase price minus your $50,000 deposit. And then the remaining amount of the purchase is due in progress payments. So it's 30% at infrastructure, 30% as the shell of the home is completed, and 30% at closing. And the last step is close and move into your new home at Highland Green. And I think, as everyone has mentioned, the welcome committee here is always excited to have a new member to learn their story and find out what they're interested in and what kind of groups and communities they'll be in, or if they kind of just want a nice relaxing home in Maine and maybe they don't want to be so active in the community, to each their own. We're very accepting of all that. For people who are on a faster track or not looking for the building timeline or don't want to take on the building process, we have a wonderful selection of available homes. Right now, we have 4 wonderful homes. Usually we do carry a little bit more inventory, but due to the current circumstances with the real estate market in Maine, we've been moving quite a few. So we have 4 here, all generally around the 2,000 square foot range. 3 of which have a basement, great for a workshop or additional living space. The upstairs, of course, all open, very bright. And we do have 1 more coming on the market, again, right around 2,000 square feet with some nice upgrades. So if that's something you might be interested in, keep an eye on the website because we're always updating that. We do our best to make sure that day or day after things are updated. And with this process, it is similar to a standard real estate transaction where you write an offer and there is the ability for negotiation between both parties. There's a 10% deposit and then the finals just due at closing. So if you're looking to make a move a little bit quicker or not take on such a process of building a home, this is a great alternative. And it gets you into the community and getting to know your neighbors just that much faster. And I think next we'll have John go over the Enclave.
Thank you, Jacob. So our newest project here at Highland Green is the Enclave. And the Enclave is apartment style living. It is also a cooperative form of ownership. So we have a number of buildings planned. The concept for the Enclave is based on our community at Ocean View at Falmouth and the Blueberry Commons apartment style living there. So they're all, of course, single floor living, all corner units. The buildings are 4 floors and there's 4 units on each floor. Open concept with universal design elements for easy living. There are a number of services that are associated with the Enclave. So the big 4 are transportation, 2 appointments and fun excursions, wellness program with a registered nurse and assistance with care planning. There's a housekeeping service and there's also a dining option. So we're currently taking reservations for the Enclave. And if you'd like any more information about that, please let Jacob or myself know. Let's see here. Sorry, I had a little glitch there. It was frozen up for me in a minute. So the Enclave will be located near the second hole of the Highland Green Golf Course. Here you can see where the first 4 buildings are planned. The floor plans, there's a variety of different floor plans for the Enclave. Most are 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Some are 1-bedroom and a den or office and 2 baths. And they range from around 1,300 to 1,500 or so square feet. Here's a rendering of what the kind of main living area, dining, kitchen would look like. So you've got oak hardwood floors, nice finishes, lots of window, lots of natural light. So that's the Enclave. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Dan White and JP, and we're really thrilled to have them on the team. They've been working with Highland Green for about 10 years. So at this point, I'll ask Dan and JP to take it over.
Morning, everyone. Dan White here. And again, we've been building for 10 years in Highland Green, but really we're coming up on our 35th year. JP's my son, and it's the next generation, so hopefully be around for another 35 years. When the process begins, it used to be that people would fly into Highland Green, and we'd have design meetings, and they'd have to book hotel rooms, and so it took a long time to get house plans together and figure things out. An upside to all this COVID was Zoom, and now we do everything by Zoom meeting, and it actually works out great. And I'm sure as we go forward and get beyond COVID, that we'll just be doing Zooms for the most part. So when we do that, we utilize our CAD design software, which I'll share here and give you a quick example of how it works. And let's see here. So we start, actually we start with the land, because the land usually drives the design. If there's a slope and you're going to have a walkout basement or a partial walkout basement, that can obviously make a big difference and dictate the design of the house. But our first goal is to get a floor plan established, and we work with the customer via Zoom. And this is a house we got going, and you can. One of the beauties of Highland Green is that all the roofs, for the most part, are all trusses, and that allows a lot of leeway on the inside of the house to move walls and really have a lot of freedom to design how you want it to be. And having done 60 to 70 of these now, we have a good idea of what works and what doesn't. So we'll guide you in your design efforts. But once we get a layout established, then you can see the house. And I'll give you an example of that, which is right here. You just click a camera. You can see inside. After you've got it all laid out, then we can dress it up so you can really get a sense or feel for what it might look like on the inside of the house before a stick of lumber is even built. You can put furniture in, adjust the lighting, put appliances, different types of cabinets. And you can go all through the house and check it all out. Check out every room and really get a sense. And then if you need to make a change, it really is quite easy. Down here, there's supposed to be a door. So you go and you click a door, put it in, and now there's a door there. But as you can see, it's not painted like the other one. So you just grab this guy and click a button, and now it's white. So it's very easy and faster to really get to what design you might want. And then you can see it, and then you can see it all from the outside too afterwards, or anytime during the process, get a sense of how it might look. Different angles, and you can put different finishes onto it. So it's really, it works pretty well now. And for example, we had a customer come in St. Patrick's Day, and 30 days later, the house was all designed, and contracts are signed, and they're well underway now, and probably be in a couple months. And that's how it works. And JP is the one who does most of the drafting for us. I'll let him speak now.
Yeah, so yeah, making the whole process of designing. A lot of our customers will we'll have an initial design meeting where we get some good ideas of what they're looking for, and oftentimes they'll have an epiphany in the middle of the night, kind of after we go through a big meeting, and they want to see a change or how something might look, and based on their ideas, and they can just shoot me over an email, and I can draft up both options and show them side by side so they can see what might work best for them, and kind of really helps the process move from that initial design to actually getting a finished product. So that's a big part of what I do is really putting together home, and then myself and my dad, we will dive into it after that initial design and make sure it all fits together and actually works, and get you guys the product that you want and have the vision for. So yeah. So I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, Dad, but if not, we can, I guess, turn it back over to John and keep moving.
Good.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dan and JP.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan and JP. That was very helpful. And I will add that, oh, did you want to go through that?
I'll just let you take over, Sandra.
All right, great. My role as a design coordinator is to coordinate all the details of the design aspect involved with building homes at Highland Green, and be the link between you, the customer, and the builder. So if you're ready to build a custom home or quarry cottage, or even purchase an apartment in the Enclave, I'll be by your side from the time you decide to move to Highland Green to the day you move in and the landscape's complete. In fact, there I am with Dick and Ann in that last picture. We have a great team. I overlap with Dan and JP a little bit as they guide you through the house plans. And we look at things like the grill patterns on the outside of the house and what that's going to look like, and all those fine details. And that's what I do, is track those details. I also help you to meet with our vendors to make your design selections. And our vendors are very experienced and knowledgeable and will be a great resource to you as you make those design selections. I will also guide you through the timeline of the construction process so that you've made those finished decisions in plenty of time for our project manager, Tim Folo, who's part of the Hildreth and White team, to be able to place the orders for all the materials so we can actually build the house, schedule the subcontractors, and keep the project on track. When designing or building a home, there are many decisions to make, lots of details, as you can see here, but we'll take it one step at a time and in a logical order. I will track all of your design selections and the cost, your allowances, any changes you make along the way, and let you know that if you're within your budget or going way out of your budget. And I'll just keep you informed along the way so that there are no surprises at the closing. We start with the plans. and the footprint of the house. And we ask you for an exterior color that you would like and roof color. We do have a chart of colors for you to choose from, 10 different options and about 15 or so different accent colors. So hopefully you can find one you like, but they all work well together in the community. If you've had a chance to drive through the community, you know that it looks very attractive. And you can see here from the exterior a little bit about the DNA that Jacob was talking about for the exterior look of our community here. After that, we move to selecting the appliances and doing the kitchen design and selecting cabinets and countertops and the flooring and tile that you can see in these examples of kitchens here at Highland Green. You'll also have time to meet with the plumber to talk about heating and air conditioning, to select your plumbing fixtures, and you'll also meet with the electrician to review your electrical plan and then select lighting fixtures. And these are just some of the examples of some of the bathrooms that we've done here at Highland Green. There are plenty of ways to personalize your home with custom built-ins, such as window seats, shiplap, beams, columns. We've done dog washing stations, lots of cabinets, you name it. We've done a little bit of everything. So no matter what your style is, I always welcome people to bring pictures and share with us their ideas, and we will make it happen. We will build it. And then the final touch, landscaping. We have a landscape architect that we work with to help you design a beautiful plan that works for you. Whether you're one who likes to go out there and plant bulbs and put your annuals out, or maybe have some containers on your front patio, whatever works for you. We will work with you and plan an attractive landscape design that works from your view inside out, what you're looking at from when you're at your kitchen window, to your view when you're sitting on your back deck, and something that's going to be attractive year round. So lots of options, lots of ideas that we have to share with you. And it's always exciting to see it all come together. So I'd love to work with you if you're considering building a home here at Highland Green. It's always a pleasure. Thanks. And I'll pass it back to John.
Thank you, Sandra. As we prepare to wrap up here, I did want to mention that there are a number of commercially zoned lots at Highland Green. You can see them there in pink P6. So at some point in the future, we are looking for appropriate businesses that would work well with the environment here at Highland Green and would benefit the residents. So no gas stations, no fast food. You know, we're looking for something that would complement our community. So that's kind of the final piece of the puzzle at Highland Green. And now I am going to hand it over to Lori. And Lori worked a lot over the last year to create a very robust website. So she's going to run you through a few of the tools and resources on the website.
So as we wrap up here, we just wanted to take a brief moment and highlight our website. There is a wealth of information on here. If we have it, it is on the website. It's updated daily for the most part, so everything is pretty current. And we just wanted to go through and show you just some of the more important points on the website where you can get a lot of information on some of the things that we just spoke about throughout this presentation. And most of it is accessible here through this main menu at the top of your page, which follows you throughout, which is nice. The Homes tab here is extremely useful and has all of our home living options broken down. And if you go ahead and click on them, we'll actually go into the Quarry Cottages. And there's a number of different medias that we have on our website. There's tons of photos. There's a lot of downloadable floor plans as well. We have videos that you can watch. Downloadable floor plans here, which is great for each cottage. And then you can print those as well. And then one of the neater things that we have is we actually have a virtual tour of one of our Quarry Cottage homes. So you can click on it and you can actually walk through the home and get a feel for what it would be like to actually tour one of our Quarry Cottage homes here. It's pretty exciting. And similar to that, if you were to go to our Available Now Homes tab, this is updated. You can see some of our homes that are under contract. It's been very busy here and available now. And as Jacob said, we'll be adding another one to there shortly. But you can click on each home and go through, read a short description, and then of course there's tons of photos on each home. If you go to your Lifestyle tab, one of the things I'd like to highlight, you see your activities and clubs, amenities. Our newsletters are great. You can actually click on this and read some of our newsletters, which is a great way to get a feel for Highland Green. But one of the things that Dick and Ann and John talked about is how important relationships are here at Highland Green and how many activities there are. And you can certainly see if you were to download our activities guide, the relationships here and interaction with each other are very important. So you can be as involved as you want to be or not as involved as you want to be. But there's some descriptions on all of the activities here, which is really nice for you to get a feel for. And then I think lastly, kind of a highlight is under the About page. You can find out about Highland Green and what's nearby. There's actually a little interactive map here. And there's also a cooperative ownership tab, which is, John was holding up that cooperative ownership frequently asked questions that we have, but it's also for the most part on here. So we do get a lot of questions about cooperative ownership, but you can scroll through here, check it out. Certainly if there's any more information that you need, our sales counselors are here to go through that. And then lastly, just want to point you to the top of the page. There's an upcoming events page. You'll see this on here. That is updated certainly with coronavirus. Everything's kind of on hold right now, so you'll be seeing us on the computer for the foreseeable future. But as soon as we can come out of this and have some events, we'll do our best to get you here to Highland Green to experience everything that it has to offer and meet some folks and get a feel for what it would be like. And then if you are on our webpage, this follows you around. So if you're on a page and you see something that you'd like some more information on, you can certainly click on Request More Information and just put in your information, tell us about yourself or any questions you have, and then we can just reach out to you with whatever information that you've provided. And I think that's it, John.
Excellent. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for doing such a great job with the website. We're going to wrap up here in just a minute. I did want to talk briefly about travel and what's going on in Maine in terms of the restrictions. So if you live in New Hampshire or Vermont, you are exempt from the quarantine period if you have a negative test within 3 days of arriving in Maine. If you're out, not from any of those 2 states or Maine, there is currently a 14-day quarantine period required. So that's where we stand. We are open for business. We take a lot of precautions here, and there is a screening process. But if you're interested in touring Highland Green and you meet the requirements, we can definitely do it safely and securely. And we'd love to have you here and show you Highland Green in person. So please contact us if you have any questions or would like to set up a private tour. And as we leave here, I just want to thank all the participants. Thank you for everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you found it informative. We're going to continue doing these. And as we leave, I'm just going to play the little video that we produced that hopefully you'll enjoy. Thank you. And we hope to see you all at Highland Green in the coming weeks and months.